Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another weather forecast here by Adrian, and this is going to be another upload on this potential for an upcoming nor'easter early next week. But I want to wish you guys a happy Thanksgiving. I hope you guys are all enjoying your wonderful day with obviously your family and all of that. So I really hope you guys are all going to enjoy your Thanksgiving. And yeah, but in this video, I want to go ahead and obviously talk about the pattern change for early next week and be seeing that significant other trough going to eject in the upper Great Lakes, and then watching out for the very, very consistent model trending in a very significant nor'easter pattern for the northeast and as well for portions of the Great Lakes. So we're going to be looking at the overall timing and as well who can get the worst of this snowfall. But before we get into the video, I hope you guys do subscribe to the channel, smash that like button and the bell icon. And I do apologize if you guys do hear my family in the background. My family from Miami came to my house. The last time they came to my house was during Irma in 2017, since they're from Miami. But I do apologize if you guys do hear them. But let's go ahead and start off by looking at the 500 millibar high anomaly on the latest GFS, looking at weathermodels.com. So obviously right now we are seeing a ridging pattern, a very weak ridging pattern going on across the eastern United States and central United States right now. Well, mainly is centered across the eastern United States because this really significant trough and cold front is going to now make its way into the Midwest by basically later today. So the highs will not get above freezing across portions of the upper Midwest, because there you see that kind of elongated kind of trough really ejecting basically from northern Canada, while we see a very weak ridging pattern going on across the eastern United States. So Thanksgiving will be the warmest day of the week for many and for millions across the eastern United States, and it will be pretty clear as well because of that ridge. So actually not going to be not too shabby of a Thanksgiving for the eastern United States, but it is going to be brutal for, if we go continue to look at in the next few hours here, it's going to be brutal for the Midwest, as this trough is going to be really, really amped up. You can kind of just tell how amped up it is, and it kind of has that kind of weird avocado shape, and that's basically showing there you see that really strong area of low, that really steep low, and there you see the isobars. It's looking like a really strong open wave trough going straight into the Midwest, going to bring some really deep cold air, and that's going to actually help to actually weaken that ridging pattern. It's actually going to help kick out that ridging pattern very, very early across the eastern United States. So as we go now later into very, very early into Black Friday morning, this is going to be a completely different pattern for the eastern United States, from going to pretty weak ridging, a few degrees above average, to a really, really frigid Black Friday. I mean, the highs on Black Friday are going to be absolutely immense all across the eastern United States. And look how amped up that trough is. We're now seeing basically some greens, and that is a really, really steep area of low pressure. And this is actually going to bring in some lake effect snow as well, some upper elevation snow on Friday and Saturday across the Adirondacks, across the Appalachians, as well off the Great Lakes. But look how amped up it gets and how it goes basically in the heart of New York City. It goes in the heart of the urban area across the Northeast. So it's going to be really, really cold across New England, Mid-Atlantic, and overall along I-95 corridor. It's going to be really cold to say the least, and obviously that will not move out by Sunday. Still, when you're seeing some really cold air, I mean, it's going to be a very long few days, because another trough, which is going to be extremely amped up as well, is going to push in by Monday, and this is going to be the big snow maker. So we're going to be seeing kind of an area of low pressure, kind of along this cold front. The crest of that cold front is going to kind of go down towards Florida, and as we're going to be seeing a lot of moisture convection meeting up with this cold front. So we are going to be seeing a pretty significant snowstorm, basically from the Great Lakes all the way to the Northeast, and it's going to get really significant specifically for the Northeast because how deep that cold air is going to be. We're going to be seeing extremely cold air across the Northeast, and it's just going to be really, really, really cold. The highs are going to struggle to get above freezing, and we may start to see some teens in single digits. So just look at how frequent this cold air is going to be across the Northeast. It is not going to be fun, and we're going to be seeing a lot of snow and a lot of rain. Let's not go ahead and get a look here at the overall 2-meter temperature anomaly. So like I said, we are going to be seeing some slightly below average air this morning across the Northeast and along the eastern coast, because that trough is still starting to it's finally starting to kind of push to the east, but we're also seeing some resemblance of that of the effects of that trough. But obviously by later today, the air will become rather warmer across the eastern United States, a few degrees above average. Like I said, it's going to be a very, very weak ridge, but look at that cold front. This is going to be the first significant trough. Going to be seeing extremely cold air across the Midwest. So there you see that kind of area of low pressure. They kind of stay along the north of the Great Lakes, something like that. And this cold front is going to kind of stretch like that. So we're going to be seeing actually a lot of overall rain, just to the east of that cold air advection. So we're going to be seeing some rainy weather across the eastern United States and as well Ohio Valley later tonight. But look how steep that cold air is. We're going to be seeing some really steep temperature gradients. Going to go from basically uh, 10 degrees above average to 15 degrees above average across some areas to around 15 degrees below average. So we're going to be seeing in some areas a 30-degree difference in just within 100 miles. But it's going to get really cold. It's going to be a really significant cold front, really rushing it at a very rapid rate. So this rate is not going to really last more than 24 hours across the eastern United States. And when it does, it's going to be very weak. And then by basically Black Friday midday, we're going to be seeing extremely frigid air all across the eastern United States. The coldest highs will most likely be on Black Friday for much of the southeast and for the remaining of this week, because then by next week, probably Monday and Tuesday, we see that coldest air for New England, but that's going to be next week. But around 16 to around 20 degrees below average all across the Tennessee Valley, as well cold air stretching from the Great Lakes down to the Gulf Coast. And as we go to a Saturday morning, that cold air will remain. And then, of course, it's going to now kind of center across the northeast and stay around 23 degrees below average on Sunday. And then we're going to start to see as that first trough kind of moves off by Sunday, we're going to be seeing some slightly warmer air trying to push in from that ridge to the west. And then that second cold front just says no. So it's going to bring in, once again, a little bit less concentrated across the southeast. It's going to be mainly dipping specifically only in New England. So we are going to be seeing some slightly below average temperatures across the southeast and across south central, maybe a few degrees below average, but that cold is going to mainly stick around, basically, like I said, across New England. So this trough is going to kind of eject this way, and that cold front is going to kind of go this way. So the overall crossover is going to bring the coldest air all across the general vicinity. Going to be seeing around 23 degrees below average, and the average itself near the Lake Erie is cold enough, so 23 degrees below average is a lot. And then it goes down to 25 degrees below average. And then as we now get towards Tuesday, this is obviously where this snowstorm will start to end, but still that cold is going to remain for a while here, still seeing anywhere from 18 to 20 degrees below average. But look at Monday, though. Monday is definitely going to be cold enough across specifically the upper northeast, across the Great Lakes, and as well the higher elevations. But we're still going to be seeing that cold air all across the coastal northeast New England. The thing is, though, will that cold front actually catch up? Or would that cold front actually catch up to that precipitation? Since that precipitation is going to be to the east of that cold front. That cold front has to really, really rapidly move quickly, acting like a clipper. So will that cold air come into the coastal northeast too late on Wednesday, or will it be in time to see some snow along the east coast? As well, the overall track of this northeaster pattern will obviously take an effect as well. But here's the overall temperature difference in the past 24 hours. Just look at the Midwest and East Central and South Central. We're going to be seeing a 32 degree difference in 24 hours, while we're seeing now a huge warm up across the eastern United States. The complete opposite along that ridge, around a 17 to 20 degree difference. And as you see, this cold air will start to move slowly across the eastern United States by now Friday midday, staying around a 20 to 23 degree difference across the southeast and mid-Atlantic. And then we're going to continue to see this all along. And then, like I said, by Saturday and Sunday, this slight ridge starts to move in by the eastern United States a few degrees to maybe 12 degrees above average, but it struggles to get into the east, into the northeast, because there by Monday that second cold front moves in and it's going to bring in really cold air around. They're going to be seeing a 15 degree difference, around a 20 degree difference across the northeast, and then even probably a 21 degree difference. So that cold air again is going to be there just in time for the northeast. Let's now look at the overall real-time temperature so we can kind of see the overall difference. So today here, the high is going to get pretty warm all across, mainly the southeast. That's where that really warmer air is going to be concentrated. And look at the highs for the Midwest, not getting out of the teens in some areas. That's how cold, that's how steep the area of low pressure is and how it's going to be cold it's going to be. It's going to be seeing some 70s across Florida along the Gulf Coast. It's going to get pretty warm. Even to get some 60s all across, maybe as far north as Washington, D.C. and Arlington. High is going to stay around the lower 50s and upper 40s across northeast, while in the higher elevation they will stay in the 30s. But completely different pattern by Black Friday morning. That cold air is going to really catch up quickly. Going to be seeing now in those areas that we're seeing lower 70s across the Gulf Coast. We're now seeing some upper 40s. Going to be seeing some really warm air now, or cold air now, getting in towards Black Friday morning. Going to wake up to millions all across the east central United States, down to Ohio. Going to wake up to below freezing temperatures along the 20s. And look at the overall highs. The highs barely go up anywhere really for the southeast as well. Not going to get out of the lower 50s in some cases, all the way down to Dixie. The highs are going to stay in the 40s across the lower Appalachian Mountains, and the highs are going to be staying into basically below freezing in some cases along the northeast. So it's going to get really cold, and then now by the Saturday, overnight lows going to get freezing all the way down to Atlanta. And overall, really cold there, specifically across the Adirondacks. Going to be seeing some teens. And it's gonna skip. This kind of skips right Sunday morning to get really cold. There's 7 degrees. That cold air is gonna definitely make its way in. And then we see a slight warm up on Monday. That we're trying to make its way in, and then obviously that's gonna obviously get rejected across the Northeast. Gonna be seeing some really cold air on Tuesday early morning. Gonna be seeing single digits along portions of the Northeast, and as well widespread teens and lower 20s. So it's gonna get extremely frigid, and the highs are not gonna get out below freezing technically all across the Northeast, including New York City. And of course, that second coldest area will obviously be the day after the snowstorm moves out, and that's going to be Thursday. Going to be seeing basically 4 degrees in the Adirondacks. It is not going to be fun whatsoever. But let's now go ahead and look at the overall MSLP on the latest 60 GFS. So again, you're going to be seeing some rain all to the east of that cold front. So technically, you can kind of tell that cold front's going to kind of be just along here. There you see that really strong cold ridge bringing that dry cold there, as that low pressure is not going to be to the Great Lakes. So it's going to bring in a lot of rain just to the east of that CAA, kind of more towards the warm conveyor belt all across the eastern United States. So we're going to be seeing some heavy rain all across basically much of Thursday, or much of Thanksgiving today. It's going to be pretty rainy all across the east central Ozarks, and then it's going to slightly make its way down by tonight across the southeast, and that will allow for some lake effect snow tonight across the Great Lakes, of course, because that cold front will not be all the way to the far to the east. So going to be just be seeing that high pressure, that really cold there. So going to be seeing some remaining moisture to the west of that, basically towards the cold conveyor belt. Going to be seeing some lake effect snow, and then the heaviest snow will obviously be tomorrow across the New England area, the higher elevations, including Mount Washington, towards Burlington, as well toward the Adirondacks and Upper Maine. Going to be seeing some decent snow. But here comes the main storm. Quickly after, by Saturday afternoon, going to be seeing an area of low pressure. Going to be seeing a front-sided system where all that snow is going to be to the north, including Wisconsin, Michigan, and Minnesota. And it's going to be so frigid across these areas. It's going to be really light, fluffy snow. Going to be seeing very minimal accumulation, probably a few inches. It could definitely be a lot more accumulation based on how cold it is if it was heavier and compact snow. But since it's so frigid and there's a lot of dry air in the Great Lakes at this point by Saturday, we're not going to be seeing extreme amount of accumulations. We could get a few inches. The only reason why we're going to get so much accumulation is because obviously how cold the surface will be. Now by Sunday morning, the snow is not going to make its way towards the eastern Great Lakes, now by Lake Erie, across Lake Huron, and bring some snow across Pennsylvania, as well across New York. And now by Sunday afternoon, we could very well start to see some snow across New York City, coastal Connecticut, upper New Jersey, some really good snow there. And really, it's not going to get really heavy until this low pressure actually starts to slow down a little bit towards Massachusetts, because obviously this cold front's going to be moving so quickly that a lot of it's actually going to be rain based in some cases, because this overall moisture is moving so far east so quickly that this cold front is struggling to catch up with this. So it's just going to be dry, compact, remaining moisture. So it's going to be very light snow. But by the time it gets towards New England, this low pressure is going to kind of be all that moisture is going to be within the low pressure and just basically to the west of that cold front. So it's going to be seeing a lot more wet snow, a lot more compact snow that they typically see with the northeaster. So the best area to get really good snow, I'd say in my opinion, is probably going to be in upper New England and as well the upper northeast. And some really good snow as well for coastal Maine. I mean, they may get the bullseye based on how close that low pressure is going to be. At that point, it's going to be extreme amounts of moisture with that really cold air. Let's look at the European though. European obviously the same thing. See that rain over today to tomorrow morning. Gonna be seeing lake effect snow. Really good snow though in the higher elevations tomorrow across the upper New England. You'll be seeing a few, probably nearly a foot of snow. And then the second system moves in. The European has a decent amount of snow, specifically across portions there of Lake Erie. Some good snow across Toledo, as well as some overall good snow across Detroit and Ohio, and as well as Pennsylvania. And then by Sunday morning, it makes its way further to the south compared to the GFS. That the European has some really steep cold air. So the European is taking a further south approach. They're not going to get this snow all the way as far south as portions of coastal Massachusetts, coastal Rhode Island, and all across coastal New England. But it's going to be pretty light. But as we now go towards the main time frame, which will be Monday morning, the low pressure is not going to really catch up, or this moisture is not going to really get catched up by the cold front necessarily as much as or as soon as the GFS has it. So we're not going to be seeing too much snow in the European model. It's going to be very light snow, compact snow, and mainly going to be drier snow because we're not going to be seeing extreme amount of moisture along this area of low pressure. On the CMC, again, we're just going to skip this. Obviously, we've been kind of talking about the same thing, obviously, the lake effect snow and all that. But now by Saturday, again, this is going to start developing across the Great Lakes. And then now by Sunday night, you're going to be seeing a lot of that snow specifically centered all across the Great Lakes here. So it doesn't have too much going on across the Northeast or across the coastal Northeast. So as we kind of, based on these three models, we're kind of seeing a downtrend specifically for the coastal Northeast. Like I said in yesterday's video, I would not get super excited if you're in the coastal Northeast because the timing, the track, the amount of moisture, everything is kind of really all over the place. So the only place I really guarantee some snow is obviously the Great Lakes, the Midwest, and the upper Northeast, and as well coastal New England. That's kind of the only area I cannot really have confidence across coastal Mid-Atlantic or across coastal Northeast. So overall, though, here's a look at the GFS. Obviously, having some light minimum snow, like I just say, it's going to be very minimal accumulations all across the Great Lakes. Only really 1 to 3 inches, maybe scattered 4 inches. But obviously, considering it's the Great Lakes and the late November, you probably expect way more than that. But it's only going to be a few inches because of how much lack of moisture there's going to be. And so overall, how dry and compact the snow is, it's not going to really accumulate too quickly. It's not going to be that wet, compact snow, but it will become wet and compact by the time it passes the Great Lakes. It's going to be now a lot more heavy snow, and that typical nor'easter snow. Going to be seeing a foot of snow all the way from Pennsylvania towards Maine. We're going to be seeing extreme amounts of snow in the upper northeast. Some really good snow for Erie, Pennsylvania, Buffalo, Jamestown, Syracuse, the Adirondacks, of course. Across as much as the central New York may get over a foot, and then of course upper New England, the higher elevation is going to be seeing some good snow towards Berlin, New Hampshire, Mount Washington, New Hampshire, Concord, New Hampshire, as well as some really good snow all across Vermont. It's still seeing some light accumulation across kind of towards the coastal northeast, getting maybe a trace or so for maybe New York City, probably a trace across the coastal New England as well, but going to be seeing a lot more confidence in snow for Massachusetts, like northern Massachusetts and western Massachusetts near, of course, near Worcester, Boston, and we compare this to the CMC. Like I said, they're taking a lot more centered towards just the Great Lakes. If you compare it to the GFS, it's definitely a pretty significant difference, but still seeing as well a lot less snow according to the CMC across portions of the Great Lakes, including lower Lake Michigan, as well the western portion of the Midwest, like Minnesota. But they do have a lot more snow for the upper Great Lakes, including Marquette and the Michigan Panhandle and the part of the Mitten, uh, from Duluth to really uh, Green Bay, and then it starts to expand by the time it gets towards Michigan. So actually, the CFC does favor a lot of snow for Michigan itself, and as well far northern Wisconsin, getting some really good snow, nearly a foot near Traverse City, nearly 3.5 inches for Michigan for Detroit, 5 inches or so near or more than near Lansing, and Flint. Definitely a lot of good snow, and then by the time we get towards the Lake Erie area, it's going to go off. I mean, look at the similarities between the GFS and the CMC, getting extreme amount of snow for specifically areas near southwestern New York, much of northwestern Pennsylvania, and as well northeastern Ohio. This is actually a typical good area to get lake effect snow, specifically Jamestown, New York, Erie, Pennsylvania, may get over nearly near 2 feet, getting as well a lot more snow for Cleveland, may get over half a foot or more. As well, going to get some light snow or some decent snow across the lower elevation or the lower Appalachian Mountains. But still, we're seeing that trend of nearly a foot of snow all the way from Lake Erie down to, or up to areas across Maine and as well into Canada, but getting as well still some good confidence and some really good snow across the Adirondacks and as well the upper Appalachians, but not too much confidence whatsoever. I mean, the CMC doesn't even have much going on for Boston, even lower, not even lower Maine, and then the European is, like I said, they are favoring more snow across coastal New England, but I'm not too confident in that. I mean, they have an extreme amount of snow there for the upper Great Lakes again, including Green Bay, Traverse City getting over a foot, Marquette definitely getting over a foot. That's an extreme confidence there. And they even get some light snow accumulations for southern Ohio. I really don't think the Europeans too reasonable with this. However, I do agree with this overall snow still. I mean, that's obviously still pretty agreed on by all the models. So it can get a lot of snow for much of Lake Erie and Lake Huron. But the thing is, will this actually happen? They do have some good snow, anywhere from 4 to 5 inches for coastal New England, as well as some decent snow for up in New Jersey. Still lacking snow for New York City, though. But we will see how it plays out tomorrow. But I hope you guys enjoy the video, and I hope you guys all enjoy your Thanksgiving. And see you guys later.